All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unlimited Wisdom. I want to say hi to everyone. My son came up with a topic called, you know, change. How difficult is change? Going from one technology to another, but we'll cover a bunch of different things. So, hi, Kevin and Karen. Hi, Michael, Melody, Mary, Jody. Hi, Scott. Hi, Coach Bob, Deborah, Lisa Marie, Sandy, and Bill. And of course, our Master of Ceremonies, CJ. Craig A. Jackman, thank you very much, my friend, my co-visionary. All right, so a lot of people we all know don't like change, right? It's like it was great that Matt brought up this subject because school came out with a new what is called native video. I wouldn't even. Someone said, "Hey, we got native video." I wouldn't even know what the hell that is. So that's when, we always have people that use words, and I got to look up the word to find out what it is, right? So with it brand new, not only do you got to learn to use new software, but now all of a sudden some people don't like change because, well, wait a minute, the old software allowed me to do this. The old software allowed me to do this. Uh, and so one of the things that I tell people all the time is that when people look at me and they see how successful I am, but also how fast I can accept change, it really truly comes from my background. You know what I mean? So some of you are going to say, oh, woe is me. But, it's like all of a sudden one day, you get woke up and you're told that you're going to a new home, a new school. You're no longer going to be around your parents and your brother. you know so those are things that happened to me that were not fun but not nice, but it really made me realize that I could be, I could complain about it and whine and cry about it, or I could figure out how to focus on something that I had control over and just make it gooder. You know what I mean? So all of you know that I love that word. But so my whole life was like that, you know what I mean? And so not only was I in a number of different homes, but then all of a sudden, when I got into the racing world, I was just telling my wife this the other day. It's like I was trying to go back as far as I could remember, and I was trying to remember why I always, or what tipped me to the point of always wanting to follow someone that was more successful to me and doing what they're doing instead of what the rest of the crowd or the sheeple was doing. And get this, you guys, I can't remember a time that I wanted to be like everyone else. I do not. And so I believe where that came from is that from the time that I knew that people communicated with me, it was like I was already the special one and the weird one. You know what I mean? So I think when someone tells you out front for the time that you can communicate people that you're special, back then it was riding the short bus and I'm dyslexic and I can't read and I can't write, So it really allowed me to proclaim my uniqueness immediately. And so my wife loves watching, TV. Is one of the things I love about her. And she likes watching Today. She just gets up in the morning when we have coffee and when she comes down and brings her coffee, she watches Today, in the morning, right? And it was funny, they interviewed Stephen Curry today. So for those of you that don't know him, he's a four-time world champion, two-time most valuable player of the league. And there's no one on the planet that has made more three-point shots than him. I think he's like 4,038 or something like that. So he just wrote a book. So the reason that he was on the Today Show and probably will be on a lot of other shows because he's promoting a book. And I don't want to say the name wrong, but it was like something like The Shot. You know what I mean? And so for people that don't know this, Stephen Curry is 6'2". That's super short in the NBA. And so he said that he remembered always being the shortest person on the team. And so for him to be on the team, he had to find a solution to make sure that he could be on the team. And I thought, wow, so I want to play basketball. I want to be on the varsity team. So everyone else does it this way. I'm going to have to find my unique way of doing it because just doing it like everybody else is not going to get me on the team because the lack of his size. Now, I think that we all could name, all could name people that when they found their uniqueness, that ends up what makes them great. So the way of greatness is not like being like everybody else. It's like being yourself. But to be yourself, you got to take time to learn yourself, right? So, in the subject that Matt was talking about, I decided to get into racing. And when you get into racing, it's changing constantly. It never, ever, ever, ever stops changing. And if you've ever watched a race, that never stops changing. So, you could have a perfect car, you can be in the lead and have someone wreck and you can't get out of their way or your tire drives over something and guess what? Your race is gone. Or you can be in the lead and then come in and pit and someone can't get a lug nut on right. You know what I mean? That holds the tire on right. There's all these things that are constantly in flux of change. So when you really, really look at the word change, like I believe one time I looked up and change, the quotes for change are like there's more quotes about change than virtually anything, right? So me, I'm always looking for change. I'm constantly looking, and the reason that I find change and I adapt so quickly is because I do have a nature of competitiveness, right? And so if someone else is doing something, I want to be in the 1% as fast as I possibly can get in the 1%. And so I'm willing to change what I do. And so I simply, as simple as this sounds, I will always find the persons or persons that seem to be doing the best. And then what I'll do is see what they're doing. Then I use my uniqueness to make it towards something I would do. So if you're looking for something, the solution is not only saying, I need to find a way to do this like Stephen Curry, but the next thing to say is how could I change this uniquely so that I will do it? Because as soon as you go to any kind of software or any kind of new way of doing anything, we have like 122 or something members in Unlimited Wisdom. Do you guys see that people will plug in, they'll get into Unlimited Wisdom, then they'll do nothing? Nothing. Why would someone get involved in a group and do nothing? They don't want to change. So it was pretty interesting that I think it was 6 months ago or maybe more, where one day I logged into Facebook and Facebook just said, I just want to let you know that you've been recording live videos and uploading videos since you started your Facebook account, and now we're going to delete them all. And it's like, hey, too late. I was fading away from you a couple years ago. And so yesterday, I still am posting on Facebook, even though I get zero engagement, right? And I go into a group that has 40 some thousand people in it, and some of you are part of that group. And I went into that group, and there was a thing up in the left-hand corner that says communities will be gone very soon. Well, I pretty much don't care. There's no one in there engaging. There's no one that's seeing it. So my always thought is, why wouldn't a person engage? A person wouldn't engage because they just mentally are not ready for change. So you got some of you that are like, hey, listen, now that I'm with a bunch of people that I know, like, and trust, people are all positive. We're in this group with Unlimited Wisdom. I'm really not interested in going to Instagram or LinkedIn or TikTok or whatever, right? And so it's easy for me to want to change and spend my time and build something that I know is in the future, right? So the one thing that I'll say to each and every one of you is that the first thing you want to think about would change. And me and Craig laugh about this all the time because I can share something with Craig, and Craig will be the very first person to come back to me and say, "Listen, this is what's wrong with it." All right. And I laugh at him because he doesn't come back and say, "Hey, this is what's great about it." So I'm just picking on him a little bit, right? So it's like I'll go, "Hey, Craig, look at this," and Craig will just immediately send me a list of shit that's not good with it. And I'm going like, "Okay, so can you find some positive stuff with it? Find a couple of positive, like give me a negative, then a positive, and a negative and a positive." So when Sandy and Melody were on there, I made a joke and I said, "So not being able to have the background that you want, is that worth $17 a month?" You know what I mean? Because most of the people that are on the Zoom, like they are right now, how many of you are currently paying for the Zoom? Me. So when we look at stuff, sometimes we look at it like, wow, what is it from the personal view of the person that's actually trying to create something? Because we just don't like change. So I'm telling you guys, I really embrace change because when cell phones came out, I was the first that had a cell phone. $5 a minute. I always make jokes about it where the battery you carried in a wagon, it was the size of a briefcase with a whip antenna on it. And, the curly cord connected to it. It was like nuts, man. But my mind always says this is better than looking for a phone booth. This is better than looking for a phone booth. So, I get the bill and it's 2,500 bucks. And it's like, listen, this is better than looking for a phone booth. Right? So I have to find ways to reframe my mind to make it okay. That's what I suggest that you do. Because what we do is we normally don't reframe to make us change. We usually frame to stay where we are because it's comfortable. I've always used this software. This is the way I've always done things. And I don't know, I think Craig is really good at finding the quotes, but there's this quote out there is the most dangerous phrase in the world is it's always been done this way. And so I'll give you guys a current thing since Matt brought up this deal is my son, Kyle, that's home all the time. He loves taking care of the yard. I mean, we get compliments from everyone on how great Kyle takes care of the yard. It's 3 acres, 18 sprinkler zones, 6 or 8 sprinklers a zone, a waterfall in the front yard. We got some incredible land. And so he wanted to move some rocks that we have where I don't know why people put rocks in their yard and then try to figure out how to stop plants from growing in them. It is like there's things called wind, and then plants let go of seeds, and it doesn't make a difference what you do. The weeds and stuff and the grass still grow in the rocks. It's like it's crazy, right? So I said to Kyle, he said, "Well, listen, can we go get a wheelbarrow?" And he says, "Because I just want to put some rocks in it and I'll put them in the pond and I'll slowly move these rocks." And so we went to Lowe's and went and asked where the wheelbarrows were, and they were outside chained up. And I went out, and Craig, I don't know if you could find a picture of this quick. It's like, so, but I went to Lowe's to get a new wheelbarrow, and it's not the wheelbarrow that I used when I was old or I was young. So this wheelbarrow was super light. It did have a metal one. There was a number of ones you could buy, but it had 2 tires on the front. 2 tires that were really, really tall. I see Coach Bob put 4 wheels. Yeah. And I went over and I went to pick it up, and they even figured out something with the balance on it. I mean, this thing and how easy you could lift up this wheelbarrow was like nuts. And how many people have, for those of you that are not with me right now, that's okay. But how many of you have tried to pick up a wheelbarrow and move it? You know? And it's like as soon as you pick it up, you got two handles, and now you got the balancing thing going on, right? It's like, because if you're filling it with dirt or rocks or whatever, if you don't get it balanced, it just tips over. And then usually the tire is so small that it seems like it gets stuck on anything. The funny joke is like you can use if you guys have ever seen a metal floor jack, it can lift tons, but it just can't roll over a BB. These metal wheels, and it's like so you lift up the wheelbarrow. Now you're trying to balance it, right? And now you're trying to push it and put your weight into it. And if you went on YouTube, I almost guarantee it, if you went on YouTube and put in wheelbarrow accidents, I don't think that you will ever get through them. So the reason I'm bringing this up is when I seen what they did with the wheelbarrow, there it is. So when I seen how big the wheels were, and I seen that it had two wheels, and you can't tip it over. See, I know maybe a lot of people that goes, well, I'm not getting a new wheelbarrow. I'll keep using my old one. The old one that keeps kicking your ass? The old one that you cussed out in the past? The old one that made the job harder? That wheelbarrow? Yeah, well, I'm not getting another one for $127. It's like that was so funny that Matt, well, not funny, it's the way my life works, that I looked at that wheelbarrow yesterday and I went, I got to do a whole damn video just on this wheelbarrow. Because someone looked at something that's always been done this way and went, no, I think I could make a wheelbarrow better. And you bring this up, like one of the things I brought up in the past is my son, and Kyle and I are always talking this. You guys remember Tim the tool guy? You know what I mean? Tim Allen, and it's like, I'm getting new tools. you know, you look at things that are out there now for tools, and it's like mind-boggling to me how good they're getting at making things. Like when you use an industrial size electric weed whacker, it's like, how in the hell did you ever use a motor? We got a chainsaw. This chainsaw, I took it, paid $200 to have it all gone through everything, because the chances of starting that chainsaw is fucking zero. Two-stroke, mix the oil and the gas, all of this stuff. So I went out there and I went, I'm going to give it one more shot. And me and Kyle are looking at it, and maybe I should have went thoughts or things, because both of us said at the same time, this is just going to beat our ass again. You know what I mean? Ran, 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 ran. You're just sitting there, and he pulled on it probably 100 times. I pulled it on it 100 times, took it, threw it in the garbage, went to Lowe's and got an electric chainsaw. When my son hooked up the chainsaw, he goes, Dad, watch this. And we both laughed. He put the battery on, wing, wing. Press the button, it starts cutting. It's like, man. But I know there's some people out there, and I know them personally. It goes, I'm never going to the electric shit. That's for damn sure. And why are they doing that to me? Well, because I got an electric car sitting in the driveway. I went to their house with a car that has 1,024 horsepower that can go from 0 to 153 miles an hour in 9 seconds. And it's a car I can drive every day. So it's like, well, I'm never going to get an electric car. But the reason I'm bringing this up to you guys is really, really be conscious that it's your attitude and it's your thought process that makes things a struggle. I got to learn this other software. I know some of you that have been following Matt, it's like, wow, Matt, that last video you did of Ezra, riding on a pony is just amazing. And it's like, did you do that? And you name off the software, and the programs that Matt taught you in the past. And Matt's like, no, 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 I'm using this one and this one and this one. It's like, man, it's so difficult to keep up with which one's better and which one's better. And then you go from this one to this one to this one to this one. Again, if you could embrace change and go, listen, I don't care if I got to learn another way. I don't care if I got to keep learning all these different ways of doing it. Now, let's wrap this up by very simply saying this part. When I look at unlimited wisdom, me and Matthew and Craig have had this conversations so many times from the time that AI first came out. If you guys haven't noticed, people right now with business opportunities are not doing very well. And here's why. There's way too many opportunities available. It's like when I got involved in an opportunity 38 years ago, I didn't even know there was any opportunities. Right? So for me to run into another human being that was doing another company with another product, it was like, what? I thought this was the only company that did this. Now you can't be on the internet. You can't be on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. You can't be on Telegram. You can't be on anything without everyone reaching out to you, trying to get you in their thing. So it's the opposite of what it was when I got in. So can you imagine not knowing anything about being an affiliate marketer? Zero. And you come up with this concept. Now, wait a minute. Let me understand this. You have something of value that people will pay for. You created it. And if I share a link with somebody and they buy it, you'll give me some of the money. Shut the front door. This is awesome. And then you go on social media to share it with everyone, and it's crickets. Okay? So the reason that I bring this up is that where is the world turning? If AI is changing and the world is changing, what is the next hot thing? See, Matt and I and Craig have been talking about this for years. And the next thing is communities. So since all the social media networks want to charge money for you to reach out to people, the people that are going to be financially set and make an impact in the world is someone that gets really, really good at building a community and actually reaching out to people and getting them part of that community. So if you could just blink your eyes and look 6 months to a year from now, 2 years, 3 years, the people that are going to dominate everything are people that are going to have a large community. Now, that could be a community on podcast, right? So are you guys finding it weird that right now, live time, we're watching a whole group of media that used to take our attention just disappear? It's like, wow. It's like these people and these that had these large audiences on these big networks. It's like you can Google it, you can AI it. A majority of the shows out there, if you said, what show has the most viewers? That viewership right now that are number one and number two is like 3 million viewers. Do you know that used to be 50 million? So if you went back and seen what the last episode of MASH or the last, Super Bowl still pulls it off, right? The Super Bowl still pulls it off. World, Cup soccer pulls it off. But most people right now that used to be the people that everyone sought out and looked for, these people have 200, 300,000 people. What is that in a percentage to 350 million people in America? 0.0001. So now all of a sudden there's just too much options, right? So now you got people in this day and age. Listen to this. There's people in this day and age when they're watching something, they've never ever ever watched anything on TV. That's mind-boggling to me. You know what I mean? It's like, no, they're on other social platforms. So how would you get to those people? You're not going to run a TV commercial and get to these people. My sons laugh at me and Terry because even if we go to their streaming service and watch what we watch, they immediately go, God, you guys watch stuff that still have commercials? It's like, I don't even recognize them. Well, they recognize them because they watch stuff that doesn't have commercials. You guys know what I'm saying? It's a big deal to them to watch, so that's the deal. So Matt, again, talking about change, when you're learning and you just want to say, I want to be a part of something that's moving forward. Again, where I've made all my impact is always being in a place where I'm always wondering and thinking, where are the trends going? Because if you're with the trend and ahead of a trend, then all of a sudden when someone wakes up, they just go, well, everyone has a cell phone. Oh, really? It used to be less than 3% of people had cell phones. So when it gets to that 10%, it's a bell curve. It goes from more people that have something than people that don't. I know people that are brand new on the internet that have never, ever, ever had a Facebook account. Have no interest. Don't want to, hey, that Facebook is where all the old people are. It's like, how dare you? No, I'm okay with being old. You know what I mean? To them. Oh, you guys want to see something funny? This was a memory that popped up today. Look at that clown. Wow. Talk about change. I was probably either 28 or 29 when that picture was taken. Golly. I don't know. That's a sharp looking dude, though. No wonder people wanted to be in business with that guy. Yeah. But yeah, so I hope that makes sense to you guys. When you hesitate, and just know that thoughts are things, and thoughts create emotions, and emotions create actions, and actions create results. Again, please just trust yourself when someone says, hey, Corky, you got 3 million people on TikTok. You should build a school. Why wouldn't he go? Why? Why? Well, because it's going to be the next thing. Can I work on changing it when it changes? No, there's changes already happening. I'm aware of that, but can I put all my focus and energy here? You can, but another video that I want to do soon is just talking about time. Time is part of change, but man, when we consistently in our mind say we don't have enough time, and your brain hears it. And then your soul and your spirit backs it up. That's the way our whole life. Well, I don't have time to learn a new software. I don't have time to be on a new social media. See, that is part of change, right? And so the people that can change are people that look forward and go, is the time learning to do this going to be good for me 6 months down the road, a year down the road? Honestly, everyone, do you know where I kicked the majority of people's asses in the network marketing world? Me being willing to understand that I could put an entire presentation along with the four-step close, frequently asked questions, and also testimonials on videos. And I put them on Google Video before there were YouTube. That's how I built 758,000 people. Do you guys realize that that was in 2009? And I still have to fight with people today wanting to do live meetings? They just do not believe that you can promote a video and make money. And I'm like, have you heard of Budweiser? Yeah. When was the last time you were at a live presentation for Budweiser? What are you talking about? Yet they do commercials, stupid. Why is all the multi-billion dollar companies on the planet do commercials? But those are commercials, not videos. Wow, see how fast you can say, I'm not interested in doing it? So I created videos and consistent create videos. And if people mentally, their business philosophy, if they say it's not going to work, you got one of the first multi-billionaires, Henry Ford, that goes, well, because you said it, you're absolutely correct. There's really no reason for me to go any further. You believe that it can't work or you can't do it. And so you win. And so, how many of you guys have been on a live presentation on Zoom about school? Wow, me either. How did they get 172,000 people? Oh, from video. Oh, what? Really? That's pretty amazing. But if I listen to the old school people and hang around the old school people, and I'll just be bold with all of you, you guys are very close to me. So if any one of you want to go to Atlanta and you can't afford the ticket, let me know. I'll give you a ticket for free. Just reach out to me. Why would corporate reach out and give me 25 tickets for free for Atlanta? Does anybody want to guess? Probably because they got a big event with a lot of seats and they're not selling tickets. Why else would they give away the tickets? Do you think they just gave 25 tickets to me and nobody else? No, all the leaders got 25 tickets to give away. So I can offer you guys a free ticket if you're really going to go to Atlanta. How many of you are going? I don't know. Is that bad? Is that bad that you don't want to go to a live event anymore? I think some people could guilt you, right? You got to go. Yeah, you got to go. Have I ever, to any one of you, since you've known me, ever given you such a guilt trip that if you didn't show up at an event, I wouldn't work with you anymore? No. So that shows to me, that, hey, I'd rather not go. So that's the thing about change, is that we mentally get to a place of change And then what we do is we use our mind and our thoughts to talk us out of actually doing the little baby steps to doing it. It's like no one can read a book unless you make a commitment of time to read a page a day. If you read a page a day for the average personal development and business book, if you read a page a day, you would go through 5 to 6 books a year. Does that sound crazy? See, if I told you you needed to read 5 books a year, brand new books a year, people would go, that's too much. But if you made a commitment to a page a day, that you would do it. So it's always this reducing down to the ridiculous that makes our mind go, I can do it. Can you do 1 push-up a day? Well, of course I can. Even if you do the girly push-ups. You know what I mean? Just use your knees instead of your toes. Hey, that's the ones I'd be doing if I tried to do it right now. I got I got a lot of stuff in the center. You know what I mean? So we got to break it down to reducing the ridiculous, do a little bit of event every day. For those of you that already have a school, are you guys finding it where did you guys go through all the videos or did you go through one of the videos and then you went, okay, I'll set up one thing on calendar. I'll do one thing on a classroom. You know, someone reached out to me and it's like, I don't know how to put tabs up. And so I sent her a quick little video and I go, watch this. I click on settings. Oh my God, here's a tab. It says tab. And look, oh my God, right below it, it says category. Are you kidding me? Let's click on there. I wonder what this plus button is. Well, wow, you know, because what stops us from doing that is some of us are at the age where you play with stuff that's electronical, and when you break it, it's broke. We got to all admit, regardless of our age, is that existence is not longer here. My mother-in-law woke up this morning and nothing on her TV works because the power went out. So Kyle went over there, unplugged everything, allow everything to reset, include the modem and the TV and the speaker systems, and bingo, it works. How many of us that are at a certain age, just raise your hand? It's like when I was hanging around my sons, man, I would say, there's something wrong with my computer. I mean, their hand comes right over, right on the power button. What are you doing? They're like, let it reboot back up. And I reboot, and it goes, is it working now? I'm like, get out of here. Yeah, I'm working on it for 4 hours, and I can't get the damn thing to work. They just come over, bam, press the power button, pull the plug on it, stuff it back in. How many of you guys think I do that now? That's my default now. That's my default now. Well, power off, load it back up, working now. It's like, wow, they were way ahead of the game. But some of us still will go through videos, time, customer service, be pissed off at everyone because we're trying to get it to work, because we want to fix it and we're pissed off that nothing does the way it's supposed to. Then you get a person that can't speak English on customer service and they go, can you just shut off the computer? Now, why wouldn't we do that? Watch this. Have any one of you shut off a computer when you first got one and it messed the computer up? See, we're coming from pain, aren't we? We're coming from pain and trauma. And you guys know this other one, and I'll leave it at this. I was so frustrated with my computer. Don't mean to be mean to people. It was Windows. You know what I mean? Dell computer. And I called up this person and they said, very simply, just do this, this, and this. And I don't even remember what it was. And they go, Is it loading up? And I said, yeah. Can you hear the noise? I said, I heard it. He said, yeah, it's all okay. I hung up. It reset it, set it to three settings, and I lost fucking everything. So now I'm mad. And I call back and I'm going, I just reset my computer and I lost everything. And you know what this asshole said to me? You don't back up your stuff? Where do you live? Where do you live? Why do you want to know where I live? It's like everybody backs up their stuff, not me. No one ever told me to do that. Oh, well, everyone backs up their stuff. Did that happen to anybody or just me? Did anybody ever lose their stuff? Oh my God. These young kids don't even know what we're talking about right now. Because as they're doing stuff, they do something and it won't even be like a second. You see this thing pop up, backed up, backed up. You do something else, it says saved. You back something up, it says saved. You know what I mean? It's like they didn't go through the struggles that we did. So maybe that's where our difficulties are moving forward to change. It's like I don't want to lose everything. I don't want it's like so we're just gonna have to move forward and move forward to change. So I love you guys. I love and appreciate you. Again, Matt comes up with some of the greatest subjects, but some of you guys do as well. So reframe your mind. I've been able to do this. I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to do baby steps. I'm going to spend. I'm going to make time a priority of doing this one thing. I don't know if I told you guys. I got like a download that I should just order a Bible online, a new Bible, and I'm going through it a page at a time. Why? I don't know. But being able to do a page at a time, do any of you think that sometimes I read more than one page? See, that's reduced into the ridiculous. I can't do certain things. I make my thing a priority that I can't do certain things that I want to do, that I enjoy to do until I do this. And it takes very little time. So then I open it up and I read it, and then I go, well, I'll read a couple more pages. And so I'm going to make a joke really quick, you guys. I haven't gone through Genesis yet since I got the Bible. And you know what I've learned so far? Is that virtually everyone that they're writing about messes up a lot. Oh my God, the stuff that they mess up doing constantly. And they're bickering and they're fighting. And they're saying, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? There's all these stories about a lot of people that are constantly messing up, but yet God still provides and he still blesses them. So me going right back to something that I didn't read the Bible since I was 18 years old, and I didn't read the total Bible. So now I'm going through the Bible with new eyes, and I'm like, wow, what is the story with all these people doubting themselves and man, the one I read today was like, hey, this guy looked at this girl, it was so and so's daughter, and he went, wow, I like her, so I'm just going to take her. And then the story is, well, what's going to happen when her brothers come home? So her brothers come home and say, listen, that wasn't cool. And he goes, well, I just talked to my dad. My dad said that you guys can have our daughters. You can have my sisters if you'll let me have your sister. I was like, okay, that sounds like a good deal. It's like, I'm reading this and I'm going like, man, women really didn't have any say so. It's like, guess who's your new husband? This guy. Oh, okay. It's like, anyway. So I love you guys. We'll see you on the next video. Bye for now. And I appreciate you. So thank you, Matt and Shelly, Michael, Jamie. Corky, great to have you on here. Sean, great to have you on here. Mary, Bill, Melody, Kevin, Karen, Michael, Jody. We got two Michaels, don't we? Yep. Coach Bob, Deborah, Lisa Marie, CJ. I love and appreciate you guys. Everybody say a prayer for Shelly. She's recovering from some operations, so send her some energy.